Dekillsage here. Marvel Live, we're back. First Tuesday of the month, as always. Well, first and third, but you guys get it. We're here. Anyways, happy April. I hope everyone survived April Fool's Day and didn't get, pranked too hard. I saw some pretty good ones this year, but, all good. Anywho, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We are going to be recapping Bum's birthday. We're going to be recapping NCR, which just happened. Both of those just happened. We're going to kind of preview Clutch because we will have another show in between then, but we still want to get the hype out there because it's going to be an awesome event. And then we're going to dabble a little bit with some meta discussion. Just talking about the state of the game. Things are kind of, tilting and turning as far as what's going on. So we're going to talk about it. Why not? All right. So first things first, after, now we know what we're doing, but let's see who we're talking to today. Gonna pass it around table for some introductions for our crew. No guests tonight. Just gonna throw that out there. Yes, stuck with us. So Airborne, what's up? How's it going?
We in there, we live in. Throat hurts, but not in the way that it hurts to talk. So
okay, so that's good enough for us. Now you get to hear your stats. Jonas, Raid, how's it going? Welcome back again.
We out here, we living. My head hurts.
Oh boy, here goes the theme. What's up, Kyle? Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We're dead in Alabama. There's nothing going on down here.
Oh, so we're just ghosts now. All right, and Ram Bam, what's up?
We out here, we're living.
Yeah.
It's not even fair.
Oh, Boston's live and well, and
yeah. All right. Well, that's the crew for tonight, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into the topics. But yeah, welcome back. So Bum's birthday, that just happened this past Saturday. March 30th, I think, on Bum's Twitch. If you guys don't know Bum's Twitch, it's twitch.tv/bum, the number 1, the word 6, and then the number 3, okay? Bum 163. Yeah, I know, it's complicated. Anywho.
New York people in those, like, Ray 19-1 spelled
Oh, yeah,
W.
yeah. They all do it. They all do it. Making it mad complicated, but whatever. This is what we remember them for, right?
I don't even think Ram can say anything. He's got 2 R's on his name on his.
That was because I was
crap.
put in a bad situation.
Rambam.
Ram.
Okay, and wait, what was that? Oh yeah, Bum's birthday, his Twitch. That led to all that discussion. Happy birthday, Bum! By the way, that was obviously the theme of the night. If anybody caught any of the stream, that was the theme of the night, especially for the Marvel action. This tournament, though, was actually pretty stacked. Let's go ahead. I'm going to talk about the results real quick so you guys can have a little bit of context about how stacked this tournament was. And this wasn't even like a major or anything. This is just Bum's birthday, so that's really cool. A lot of these people showed up and, supported Bum, but also put on an awesome tournament. So, the top 8. It was tied for 7th. We had Unknown and Virgo. So Unknown, doing a little bit of traveling. Thank you. Virgo, he's from NYC. Then we had tied for 5th, I Heart Justice and Macho. This is like an insane top 8. 4th place, Sage. 3rd place, Noel Be Hungry. 2nd place, Clockwork. 1st place, Duel Kevin. OMG. Okay, so this tournament was awesome. A lot of people traveling, coming through to New York, which is amazing. And yeah, did you guys catch any of the tournament?
Touched all of it. It was sick.
Yes, please. Yeah. Let's do this.
Yo, I just want to give a shout out to Clockwork. He played out of his mind. That was crazy. And also, like, Macho did super good. Like, he made it hella far. Mm-hmm. But, man, Duel Kevin is just on another level. I don't know. It just seemed hopeless for a second. Like, just, he's like I said it last time, his Sony is just like near perfect. Like I think I'm putting myself in their shoes and I don't know what to do, aside from reflect, but it's like so hard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Duel Kevin, he's been tearing it up. He's been definitely supporting this game. He's told me plenty of times it's like his favorite game. He thinks it's the best game. So, it's cool to see him travel.
It was still like 3-2 Yeah, but we didn't get the reset on the grand finals, but I want to say
no, it was close.
Yeah, like Clock, it wasn't a wash. Clock was running a lot, and then I mean, Dual Kevin's just Dual Kevin. He's godlike, but he was actually getting a lot of really good hits and beating out a lot of zoning attempts and everything. So.
And Clockwork is being so optimal with his mix-ups. Like he just kept doing the most grimy ones, and whenever they successfully like downloaded one of the mix-ups, he just pulled something out of the magic trick hat. And I don't know. Like I play Monster Hunter too, so I'm definitely stealing like a bunch of those stuff because he's playing really good. Like you can tell he's putting in the hard work on that.
Well, all right, I'm gonna be the salty one. I think Monster Hunter is kind of too good for like how much damage and what she gets, and she just shuts down like way too much of the meta. I think that's kind of. I'm not gonna ever say that Clock's a bad player, and like Clock, no matter what team, no matter what team he plays, he's godlike, and he played godlike at Bum's thing. But I'm so tired of seeing Monster Hunter. Like,
there's only like 2 Monster Hunters though.
There's not that many out right now. It's just the ones that are out right now are traveling and they're bodying everybody. So I guess
Well, I guess maybe that's just my weird view into the world. I think like. Everyone I play except for like 2 people have at least a Monster Hunter, and everyone just is like, oh well, I don't want to deal with zoning. Here we just jump sword, and then you get close and it's giant swing, and they wake up with their supers, and then they get the stupid demon dash, and they just here I come. I hate that sound clip. And...
Are you for real? You hate the sound clip?
Yeah, like that for whatever reason, like that and Laura's dash in Street Fighter V, because one of the local guys that I play against is a bit of a troll, so he'll do that a whole lot. And just for whatever reason, I've got like this Pavlovian response just to like as soon as I hear it. So it helps me throw like whenever, because I'm like, oh, I hate that sound, and I scoop them, and I get out of the mix-up. But fuck Monster Hunter. She's too good for how brainless. Like I guarantee you, like anyone listening to this can go and hit her like 6k damage BNB in like 15 minutes, and it's I don't know. She's just way too strong.
Bro, I'm sorry, but excuse me, Mr. Gamora player. You cannot talk to me about. You cannot talk to me about.
I haven't been a Gamora player since Black Widow release.
Once you play her. You played her, dude. Like you can't even talk about that with about Monster Hunter when you play Gamora, like the most brain-dead character in the history of Marvel.
I know, and I got bored because she's too easy and she's too good for what she does, and then I got tired of having to chase people at the top of the screen. So,
bro,
word.
I'm not tired of Monster Hunter. She's sick. I love winning, so I'm playing Monster Hunter. I don't care.
No, okay? Like if you're trying to win, you should be playing her. She's good. She's real busted.
But she's not that good, though. She's good, but she's only as good as the point character that you choose, Because by herself, she's not doing much. She's like a big refrigerator swinging a sword, and that's it, She's only good thanks to the tag-out mechanic, But what happens when the point character is gone, and if you're talking about Chris G or something that they play Space Stone, what is she realistically going to do on a box? She does not have the best mixes.
Over here.
She's gonna install. You can mash jab, bro. You play Gamora, you should know that.
No, you can't. You can't mash jab. You have to throw on that. If you try and press the button on her demon, you're gonna get. I don't care.
I've definitely gotten hit by jab. I don't know which jab. I specifically remember getting hit by jab. But she is very effective, and I will tell you that she's kind of cheap in certain situations. Yeah. But by herself?
By yourself, you just demon install, and you wake up super, and you just do Monster Hunter stuff. It just works out. She's good.
She's great.
Okay, so now I'll let you guys sit with your salt for a second. Let's return to the Bum's birthday bash recap discussion. No, that was kind of cool though, because I like seeing both of you are obviously on like opposite sides, and then seeing what you guys gotta say. It's fun. But on the topic of Bums, since we are talking about Monster Hunter Clockwork, he's been traveling, putting in that work, Winter Brawl, and now Bums. But Dual Kevin's been doing the same, so I feel like we've been seeing them. Weren't they in the grand finals for Winter Ball 2, or am I wrong? I don't remember. I think I was there, but...
That was Chris and Clockwork.
Oh, it was Chris. Okay, I just remember
Punisher
Clockwork being...
No, Noel got third.
Yeah, I remember Clockwork being in second and be like, oh man, second again.
No, I think you're thinking about final round.
Oh, wait, maybe.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, right?
It was Chris G versus Dual Kevin. Yeah. And I think Kevin won, right?
Yeah, Kevin won.
Yeah. Man, they're out here. They're out here. Because when I was watching Bum's grand finals, I was like, dang, I want to see more of them too, specifically, like an exhibition or something. And then I was trying to remember. I felt like I'd seen them play again recently at another tournament, but
I don't know the score right now, but who do you guys think is ahead in terms of who's the best? Chris G or Dual Kevin?
I think Kevin's up 2-1 in tournaments. Chris G knocked him to losers at Frosty Faustings, and then Kevin beat him in winners and grand finals at final round. And Chris G didn't reset, right?
Damn. I don't think so.
I think it just went to the last game, but it's gone to last game every time they've played, so it's easily the back and forth. Like it's the new Dekillsage versus Chris G. Like that's those two players are like the most uncontested players right now in the tournament scene.
And I think it comes down to the fact that they're both so good at blocking. They kind of block more than anybody else that I've noticed, anyways, and that saves people in those clutch situations. I mean, this game's gotten so like reset and scramble heavy at this point. Like, you know, you're gonna like eat damage or whatever, but then everyone has those resets and those setups, those restands, like all this crazy stuff. But if you can survive that and get out, or, you know, I don't know, I think that's what's making the big difference right now is defense, because people are pretty Pringles in this game right now, myself included. Not even gonna like lie, it's true.
I think it's more
my blocking in this game is godlike. Like,
and it helps, right?
I'll get a hit and I won't do any damage, but because I've only worked on my neutral stuff. But no, I feel like I can block in this game. I don't know if it's just the years of Marvel 3, just worrying about people tapping, doing toe taps on my head. But I just don't feel like there's really that much in this game that's actually fast enough to worry about.
I think for the most part, this game is like it's. Like, sure, being strong defensively is like a strong perk to have, like very important with those scramble-heavy situations. But I just think that Kevin and Christy are looking at the game completely different than everybody else. And that's kind of what's separating them from everybody, because what you're seeing a lot is, I think one example, which we'll get to with NCR, was Knives was just blowing people up simply because they were afraid of up-backing against Sigma. Or they wanted to up-back against Sigma so they didn't get stuck in the mix-up. Or they were just trying to push in against Dormammu Sigma, which wasn't going to do anything full screen except do like a little bit of chip damage until chip scaling kicked in. A lot of people are just trying to like force these situations over and over again, and Kevin and Christy are actually playing chess where everybody's playing checkers. It's just everyone's not looking at the game correctly.
Word. So
they're playing so safe too. Like, when you see Christy play, you try to find the gaps, and it's just no gaps.
I found the gaps for
what
a game
gaps?
and a half.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Then he adjusted, and I was like, oh. I actually have to play neutral now.
Yeah,
that's
the
so
next part of
hard.
it. That's definitely the second part of it. You finally start blocking, you're like, oh, you blocked it. All right, now let me actually adapt. And not just like go resting on all my setups. But anywho, okay, let me close out Bums so we can move on to NCR and then continue to talk about Christy, right? Because that's what's going on there. Anywho, shout outs to Bum. The tournament was amazing. All the tournaments were amazing. All three of them, actually, because there was Street Fighter. I think there was even a Marvel 3 tournament. I played some Skullgirls. It was a good time. They had food and
Yo, Sam,
you know, everything.
You saved Marvel. You saved Marvel because they were going to stream just top 3.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So what happened was they started like streaming a few of the matches, and then they were like, we're going to take Marvel off, we're going to stream Street Fighter, and then we're going to come back during top 3. And I was like,
the matches were so sick. Why would they do that?
Yeah,
the matches were so good, consistently good.
Yeah, it was like, you guys got people from all over the damn country in here right now, and you don't want to stream this. So I started, you know, by baiting them, being like, oh, you have to do it after this match. Okay, let's take it off after, because they would be like, this is the last one. I was like, but the next one's OD. Just do it after that one. And then they did the next one, and then they were like, all right, we're going to play the whole thing. And I was like, yes. Okay, so, but yeah. So if you guys didn't watch it, if you guys didn't watch it, go to Bum's YouTube. He has all the VODs up on there. Bum163.
A dual Kevin versus Dekillsage exhibition.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that too.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Want to like derail it because I know you're trying to move on, but that exhibition was kind of sick.
No, yeah, we do have to talk about it. We do have to talk about it. I actually forgot that it happened.
So I tuned in when it was 3-5, I think, right? And then it turned into a 6-3 or something. And then as soon as I tuned in, I'm sorry, it's just Dual Kevin did something, and he just won.
He just won. Luck charm.
Oh no! I'm sorry, it's Dekillsage. I'm sorry. I tuned in and I just saw the slaughter, but it was a good set though. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, and you know, to be fair, I think last week I don't remember if last time for sure I either said 10-7 or 10-6, but it was 10-6. It was not free. It was not free.
It was 10-8. It was 10-8.
It was 10-8. Is that what I said last time, or was that the actual score? I thought the score
was the actual score.
It was 10-8.
I thought the score was 10-6. I must have read that wrong.
But it was Dekillsage was down 8-5, and then he ran it back 3 straight to 8-8.
Gotcha.
Get out.
But yeah, super close. So you know, that was a good match. Anything in particular? Yeah, anything in particular that you guys thought about the set?
He was looking so good at the start, and I can't even exactly what was the game plan shift. Dual Kevin just seemed to like start doing comebacks, and then he was just steamroll. I have to see it again because I can't figure out exactly what happened when I first saw it. But I do know that Dekillsage looked like miles better at first, and I was hella impressed. If you guys maybe saw it a little bit closer than me, like what do you guys think about that set?
I would say for the most part, what happened was that, as I said on the last podcast, was that Dekillsage tends to just be unpredictable with Kevin. So it's like first he goes, he kind of just like, if you notice a lot of the times with Dante, he would just do like, it was like super jump, double jump, rainstorm, killer bee from the top ropes, tag into Jetta just to like close the gap between him and Hawkeye. And most of the times it was Kevin had already committed to something when he got hit by the killer bee, or he guessed wrong against Jetta. And for the most part, it was just Dekillsage was just creating these situations that Kevin had to adapt to in the neutral, where he was just trying to force his way in and force the hit and force the situation. Mm-hmm. And then when Kevin started answering that, that's when you started seeing the landslide, because once Dekillsage ran out of options, he was just kind of swinging for the fences the entire time, and then he was getting hit for it because Kevin does not allow that in a long set. That's exactly what happened. It's just like he'll find his random spots and he's able to snowball, and that's really like when New York was dominated by Dekillsage and Sonic Fox. That's really all you were seeing, was they were forcing the situations. Like Sonic Fox is much better at like reading the first few seconds of the match against any given player, so he's able to snowball a lot heavier. But the neutral there is just really not existent.
Anybody else want to chime in after that? After that, I mean, spectacular breakdown.
I definitely agree with the part where Dekillsage was definitely forcing like the situation by like killer bees to like just begin the offense. But I do gotta appreciate how Dekillsage was starting to turn it around, because his offense got a little predictable, and that's why Dual Kim was able to block. But I think there's a type of mix-up that really works in this game where that beats like auto block. Whoa. Which is
sorry, your mic freaked out for a second and it was scary.
Snap.
But you're good.
But during when it was like 5-8, 6-8 with Kevin in the lead, Dekillsage kept doing just like walk forward, go low, and it pretty much beats out all the options where Kevin is either trying to push block, tech a throw, but it just seems to work a lot really well in this game because you have no auto block to handle that. So Dekillsage like hit Kevin with that like 4 times in a row because Kevin was scared. He's like, oh my god, he's gonna grab me or he's gonna do a quick overhead. So he either blocked like standing or try to mash a tech throw or backdash. And the backdash still gets hit by the low. And I'm like, all right, Dekillsage is still pretty good at adapting. When you realize that Kevin's blocking everything, he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go low. Really delayed low, like he's like one of those like Marvel 3 like lows where you like walk forward and just kind of like march on in and then go low, and it works for whatever reason. And it was tight.
The power of respect right there. That you just give people to respect you just enough, and you can get away with stuff like that.
Watch.
But yeah, Bum tournament, it was awesome. That was Expedition. Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna pass over something super important. Noel Brown. I feel like he keeps getting like 3rd place, and so people aren't talking
right now.
Yeah, like I mean, he's consistently top 3, like at everything, and he just keeps on like getting edged out. But I think that his play has been really good. I think he has some of the better block strings right now, and of course he's one of the few people still running Gamora. So I think I hope that eventually we'll start seeing him actually closing out and getting 1st place finishers. But I think.
Yeah, I mean,
sadly,
the way he's been playing and
I feel like we don't talk about him enough, and we should talk about him more.
I agree. That's fair. As a fellow,
his matches are always so close too. Like, I will never forget Tyson versus Noah Brown.
Oh my gosh, I love that match.
Damn, I know, right?
It was super good. Final round.
Is that the one where you like had him in the box and he ends up getting him with the overhead chop at the last second?
Yeah, right over the trap.
That's hilarious.
Pixel. It was perfect.
I think we got to see some. And I know we'll talk more about Rocket later, but since there's the match between Noel Brown and Clockwork, and Clock started using throws to trigger the trap without actually having to worry about it. So that's a new counter that I haven't seen people like trying to use. And then there's another time, I don't remember who was actually playing. I think it was at NCR, but Jetta versus Rocket Raccoon manages to punish the trap super. And when he's coming back in at the end of it, he triggers it on the way up, but doesn't have to get hit by it either. So definitely some counterplay that people are starting to get a little more wily about. And I think it's definitely going to matter in the conversation later.
Yes, indeed. So speaking of, let's go ahead and wrap it up on Bum's birthday. Happy birthday, Bum, again. And we can smoothly transition over to our NCR recap, which I know we did talk a little bit about it already, but we'll go more into detail. The results, you guys, top 8 from NCR. Tied for 7th, we had Manic and Ninja Nom. Tied for 5th, we had Cloud 805 and Knives. 4th place, Tekua. 3rd place, Supernoon. 2nd place, Punisher. And 1st place, Chris G. Man. These
can we talk about
have been insane. Yes. Let's
the
talk
character diversity on this.
Yeah.
Everyone, you got our back with the numbers. I don't know if you do.
Yeah,
like,
we got
it's so refreshing to see. I mean, we've got. I think we only had one Hawkeye, 2 Raccoons. I think there were 2 Dantes. But they actually got like a Ghost Rider from Takua. I don't know. I'm really pleased at how like wide we're getting to see these top 8 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was actually 15 different characters that were seen in the top 8. Punisher busted out Gamora at one point. Someone else had a character substitution. We saw 5 of the 6 stones, which was absurd. The only one that we didn't see was Mind, of course. But ironically, Ninja Nom was playing Time Stone for a majority of the tournament until he played Tekua when he played Space. And then Tekua busted out Time Stone against Punisher, trying to find some sort of hope to deal with Rocket Raccoon Hawkeye. So, like, the Novas were doing a little interesting dance with the trading stones and whatnot. The only characters that saw more than one usage, so to speak, were Rocket Raccoon, which you saw 1.5 times if you count Supernoon as half a use since he switched to Nova Jetta, his namesake, at one or two matchups. And then there were 2.5 Novas, but every other character was one or less use. So, like, even Dante, even Zero, Like Hawkeye only was once, so it was and even not even a full the full top 8 because Punisher switched to Gamora against a couple people.
Which I think all the times he did, unfortunately, were horrible mistakes. He was doing so much better with this Hawkeye, and I need to actually hit him up sometime and ask him why he thought that was such a good matchup. Because I think honestly, like he picked Gamora against Monster Hunter, and then I think was maybe against Knives. So he kept trying to play it against armor characters, which is one of her worst matchups. So I don't.
Well, it's not. The problem with that is Hawkeye's biggest issues are that his projectiles definitely control the screen and everything, but like since most of his moves have been replaced with projectiles, they lose to armor to begin with. So like he doesn't have an actual standing heavy punch; it's actually him shooting arrows. Like shock value is a projectile, scatter shot's a projectile. Like the only projectile he has that can beat out armor is Gimlet. And so most of the time, like exploding arrow space stone's not going to do anything, and the space stone's going to get beat out by the armored move because the armored move is always a heavy. So it's like he kind of ends up as a sitting duck, and like kudos to Kevin for being able to fight against Monster Hunter players with Hawkeye, because that just looks like one of the most uphill battles, along with like Rocket Raccoon players having issues with that matchup as well.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon, her sword swipe, being able to negate traps and put a hitbox out and safely land on super trap, like that right there shuts down so much of what he wants to do in neutral, and it's so just kind of brainlessly advantageous for her. So I'm curious if we're going to start seeing more people willing to counter pick her, because she is an easy character to pick up, and if you don't like playing against good Raccoon, then there's your easy fix now.
Yeah, and on top of that, like one of the few like anti-air moves that Rocket Raccoon has that actually hits heavy and beats out that light armor is Groot, and Groot gets hit by the sword, so he gets nullified, so he doesn't even get to come out half the time.
So I'm also looking through this top 8 right now. What do you guys think about Knives? I know I saw a tweet from him recently, and he was like, I'm open to any money match from anybody. I remember seeing that tweet from him. He'll play anybody.
I want to start with this so bad.
Go for it.
Okay, so Knives has low-key been like grinding this game super hard online. Like a few of us, I'm sure, almost all of us here in the on the show have played against him, and he's just very neutral heavy and very like. I think he has that same mindset that I was talking about with Kevin and Chris G. It's just that I don't think his team is able to capitalize on it as heavy, because he doesn't really have that. He doesn't have the grime that that Dante has, that Morgan and Monster Hunter have together and everything. It's mostly so Sigma is known as that character that doesn't do virtually anything on his own, and that like perfectly sets up the other character. And the thing about that is that a lot of people will simply just be like, up, back, because I don't want to deal with this mix-up. Well, the thing is that the way that he uses Sigma, the laser always catches you trying to up back, and it sets up perfectly into the straight divide, into the tag with Dormammu. And the thing is, for the most part, is that he'll just like be throwing things out, and then like even if you're full screen, he will do the straight divide plus tag at the same time, because what happens is that Sigma goes chasing after you, or whichever direction he thinks, if you're going to be on the ground or in the air at the time. Dormammu's sitting full screen, which is, his happy place. So he just builds charges happily, throws some pillars out, and just like forces you to try to overextend, and he just blows you up for it. And Reality Stone is one of the perfect stones in its current state for that, because Reality Stone, as I was telling everyone earlier, is it's about like controlling that space. Like it's trying to just own that real estate. So like basically they have to completely overextend into a position where they have to reflect it. So most of the time it's just catching people that are trying to overextend or just trying to force the situation. Like for instance, like Spidey zipping Power Stone. Like Spidey has a really hard time against Reality Stone even in its current state. So there's just a lot of people that just get blown up by trying to control the space and everything, or trying to avoid the situations. And Knives' team is actually pretty honest, aside from like hard to blockables and whatnot. But what team doesn't have those? Let's be honest. So honestly, Knives is just outplaying people in the neutral, and his team is just amazing at it.
His team is definitely one of those teams that he can. I'm not gonna say he can only win, but he mostly wins because the opponent made a mistake, and his team is super good at capitalizing at that. But I think like the problem in that case is that if you're playing somebody that already has a big life lead, how are you gonna close that life lead? Because the only problem that I can see with that team is that it's gonna be super hard to actually get a clean hit, as in by your own. If the person is just holding back or something, and they have a big enough life lead that they don't have to rush you down to feel more comfortable, I think that's the point where the team is like, I want to say falls apart because it's still a really good team, but that's when it becomes like super honest, like uphill battle, But he's definitely made it work, and he made fourth, right? Or am I tripping? That's still super good.
I think the biggest issue that he ran up against in the actual tournament is as soon as Dormammu dies, like Sigma with Reality Storm has almost no mix-up potential. Like his dash for his left rights are like I think he went for his best mix-up and everyone blocked it every single time. Like I don't think that he's going to make those runbacks, but he does. He's one of the few Sigmas I know that actually uses his little eye laser super as a heavy assist punish, which does massive damage and chip. It's really strong, and he was actually landed a couple of the command grabs throughout the sets, and I feel like most Sigmas are just okay with just kind of shoulder charging in just to get plus, but to actually use all of those tools to get any advantage you can. I think that he's one of the better Sigma players, in my opinion.
I think he's the best, like free.
Well, I don't know what other Sigma players are, but yeah, he's definitely the best Sigma player I know.
Well, going back to Bums, Dekillsage actually busted out Sigma and took Clockwork to Game 5 with it. So.
Oh yeah, you're right, and he did it like.
Ronan Healy plays Sigma as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And around.
I just want to mention something about that match with I'm sorry that we have to go back to Bum's birthday, but his Sigma looked hopeless from the first game, and then he just, when he was close and was gonna lose, he just brought it back somehow, and then the other game he just bam, like it was a steamroll, and when you get to Game 5, man, he was so close to like actually getting the lead and like keeping it, but I don't know. It's good. The Sigma is good, but like I said, you need for your other opponent to like really make a mistake. If the other person's playing airtight, I don't see like Sigma being like that huge of a threat,
At the same time, we haven't really seen Sigmas being given the opportunity to create any mix-ups, be it just be like Street Fighter mix-ups where it's either frame trap or throw. But a lot of people are trying to avoid the situation still, and so like Sigmas can't really go for the command throw that often because the straight divide is going to be the best answer every time because you want to set your point character up as much as possible. There's no real point trying to open someone up directly with Sigma, so no one's really going to be doing much of anything with Sigma until he's the last character.
As something worth noting for Sigma specifically, was it FGC Goomba? I don't remember what his Twitter handle is exactly. But there was some people exploring. So if you push block the first hit of shoulder charge, you can actually throw punish Sigma because there's a wide enough gap. And so I don't remember. It was one of the Nemesis players out there, and the other one was a Hagar player. So they were like setting up the counter to that situation. Was it Ronan Healy? To set up command grab supers inside the gap there. But it is relevant for anyone that has to deal with that matchup a lot. Just push block early on the first one, and then you can get a free punish, a throw punish at least, which will get you out of the situation.
Or you can pick Soulstone, and that eats the armor.
Soulstone is OG.
Yeah, that's like the mega counterplay against those big bodies. Like
I will match that full screen against Sigma every single time.
Sigma, Hulk, all those type of like Unga characters. You just pick Soulstone, and it's just easy. Yeah.
And actually, Elite Goomba, he's actually in the chat. So shout out Goomba, that was good stuff.
Cool. Any other details about NCR that you guys want to go over before we do? I'm gonna do like just quick preview it's a preview pretty much of Clutch, just some details and getting the word out there, and then we're going to talk about the meta discussion. So anything else about these recaps? It's your last chance. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I do have one thing. So what's funny is that the top two in both of the major tournaments this past weekend featured a Hawkeye and a Monster Hunter, and third place was a Rocket Raccoon.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, let's go into this next conversation about how cheap a certain rodent like character is.
We'll definitely get to that. Let's go ahead and at least shout out Clutch. That's coming up, you guys. That's coming up this month. We are gonna have another show between now and then, but you know, we gotta get the word out for our boys over at Net Battles doing God's work. All right,
yeah.
So. Clutch 18, that is April 21st and April 22nd. However, there is a bonus day on April 20th that's going to have some cool exhibitions and stuff like that. So stay tuned for more details about that. They're going to be posting more details as it gets closer. But here's some details for you right now. It is at the Clarion Hotel, Indianapolis Airport, obviously in Indiana, April 20th through the 22nd. They're going to have team tournaments, 2v2 team tournaments. They're going to have, what are they having? Oh, yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and Infinite are all going to be there. 2 and 3 are going to be side tournaments. So, you know, we got some variety here. There's also going to be Curly Midwest going down at Clutch. So stay tuned for more details of that. And yeah.
There's also 4 exhibitions, one for 4 different games.
Yes.
Essentially, what happened was, sorry.
No, yeah, go over it.
But basically, there was a point system for I think it was like November onward or something, was the road to Clutch. And so it was the top 2 placings of each game in terms of point accumulation. I was 1 point off from being in that top 2, so I'm a little salty about that. But the exhibition for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite will be Dual Kevin versus Static Alpha, both my teammates, one of my training partners. So that'll be extremely interesting because the last time they played in tournament was the tournament I sent Dual Kevin to losers, which was all the way back in January. Hey. So and Static had not picked up Winter Soldier yet. What's funny though is that final round right before top 8 when they were warming up, Static beat Kevin 7-1.
Ooh,
what?
Done.
Yo, Bucky.
And that was when he was rocking Soul Stone. He's rocking Reality Stone right now. So
Wait,
there could be a lot of shift.
What are you talking about? What is going on?
Ooh,
he's been doing a lot of experimenting.
Right now.
So there's this matchup is gonna be hype. I
assure
you.
So hold on. He's playing Winter Soldier now. It's with Reality Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. So he plays Winter Soldier, Black Widow?
No. Winter Soldier, Strider. Strider's his dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay. With Reality. Okay, that's nice. I think we were talking about it earlier, and definitely I can see some stuff going on. But does Winter Soldier actually, beat Hawkeye?
Oh, he gives him a really hard time, actually, because the thing is that Hawkeye's almost every single one of his arrows get armored by the arm, and if he's not full screen, the angle down arrows do not hit his feet; they hit the arm first. So basically, he can just sit in the arm and chill, and anytime he shoots out an arrow, he can just retaliate with the machine gun spread, and then tag. It's a punish.
And in that situation, the only thing he can realistically do is tag in Dante, and then Dante still can't do anything because he can just tag in Strider then, right? So I can definitely see that. I want to see it now. I'm kind of hyped now. I didn't know that was going on, yeah.
Yeah, and Kevin even said himself actually on the show last time, I think, that Winter Soldier gives Hawkeye a hard time. So, oh, no, sorry. It was on the Air Dash Club stream on Wednesday or Thursday last week.
Cool. So definitely keep an eye out for that, you guys. That's coming up not too long from. Time is flying right now. Let me just tell you that. Time is flying. So yeah, it's coming up later this month. Last day to register online is going to be the 16th. So you have a little less than 2 weeks. On on-site registration Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. So, and it's cash only. So if you want to register on site and hold that L, then yeah, you know what you gotta do. Take that cash. Anywho, aside from that, keep an eye out on this station, Team Spooky. It's gonna be streamed here on NYC Furby and on Net Battles. So we'll go over more details about this event in the next show, because we'll probably have more information about who exactly is going to be attending and playing and stuff like that. So keep an eye out. I'll post a link to the Facebook event in the chat for you guys right now. So now that we've had that preview, we're going to spend the rest of this show on a topic that everyone feels is pretty important to go over right now, just considering how it's been changing. Well, not so much changing, it's just, you know, evolving. We're kind of figuring out what exactly is working and what's not working. But like we mentioned and noticed with these top 8s and everything, we've had a lot of diversity. We just heard Static Alpha has been doing some experimenting. 5 out of the 6 stones being used. So there's definitely a lot brewing with our community right now in this game. So let's talk about the meta. Who wants to kick it off? I know you guys
the whole meta?
Yeah, we're doing the discussion right now.
All right, I'll start.
For it.
Rocket Raccoon isn't as big a deal as everyone makes him out to be. Fuck Monster
It's a
Hunter.
hot take.
And
Hot take.
Ultron has too many hitboxes that hit behind him. Those are my 3 meta discussion topics for today.
All right, well, let me squash those real quick.
Who?
No, I'm kidding. Rocket Raccoon is annoying. He's mad annoying, but
I'll
he's
agree with annoying,
tier.
but I don't think that he's broken or busted or like the cheapest character in the game.
Definitely top tier. I won't deny he's probably top 5 in the game.
I still think he's top 2.
Who's
probably
put Dante and then him?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. But I don't think people are the time of day to really break down his block strings. Because there are things that you don't really necessarily have to respect, and I think people just choose to respect them a lot. Stand heavy kick still mad annoying, but it's nice that it doesn't pierce, so you can definitely put a projectile in front of it and deal with it. So Dante can do jump light kick, and one bullet of jump light kick cuts through stand heavy kick, and then the second bullet can come down and nick Rocket Raccoon as he tries to cancel into trap. Any button canceled into a trap is punishable, so don't let Rocket Raccoons get away with that. Just dash up and hit a button while he cancels into the trap. You can just like mash buttons. It's super real. But people choose to respect it for some reason. That's why the pressure feels endless, because he gets to cycle through it, but you can stop it in the middle of it. So just like hit buttons and then like play Soulstone, because if he's gonna like mash Space Surge and break his armor with your Soul Surge, so he can't just mash you into traps. You're gonna be like winning all of a sudden, but at least you have some answers. That's all I'm saying about Rocket Raccoon.
I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna say that what he does well is ground control. And so pick a character that can fight from the air and just frustrate them, and make sure that you know how to not land on stuff, which if you play Marvel, you probably know how to do that. But I think that people get hit by his stupid, stand heavy, his butter gun, and Groot all the time for like absolutely no reason. They're just kind of out of position and holding forward. But I don't think that he is as bad as all that.
Well, with Rocket Raccoon, what do you think are the major things that people aren't punishing or letting him get away with the most? Like maybe they don't know how to punish or whatever. Like what do you think is like the biggest issue for people with Rocket Raccoon right now?
Traps.
When he puts a trap, I see everybody just freak the fuck out. And most people already have an answer to that, because as Marvel Infinite evolves, I think people are like, how do I say this? It's evolving into a big, heavy support character and a mix-up, quick glass cannon, right? So let's off the top of my head, what teams are top tier right now? We can say Jedi Dante, right? Zero Mega Man, anything Monster Hunter, right? So with
Wait,
Monster
did you
Hunter,
just say Zero Mega Man is top tier?
No, I'm not saying top tier, popular.
Oh, popular.
Okay.
I heard top tier
popular. Like,
it sounded like top tier.
Did I say top tier?
You might
No,
have.
it just
unless
sounded
your
like top
accent
tier.
is that strong.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about popular teams, right? So you just need to find a way to cancel the trap in front of you, right? And then you just tag in your next character. So if you're playing Sigma, you just straight divide, tag into whatever you have, and then you just mix them up, right? So if you're playing Monster Hunter, you just do sweep. It takes away all of the traps. Not obviously not the super, right? But you have an answer, right? And with Hulk, you can do it. I think with Thanos, anything that has like a downward hitbox and it doesn't have a hurt box, I think you can do it with Ghost Rider too. You just get rid of the traps. So when you get rid of the traps, what does he have? He's like still has some buttons. Don't get me wrong, but that severely limits like his keep away like style. And he has to actually block stuff. He has to actually take the mix up, and I think that's what we have to do. I don't think people are actually like trying to analyze how to beat him. They just know he's cheap and they just want to like forget about it. They're just like, it's easier to complain than to actually find a way to like beat him. But today, for example, I saw Ram posted a video of how to punish the light trap, right? So when he punishes the light trap, you can just he's just dashing up and punching him in the face. I would have never seen that because nobody's doing that. The first time I ever saw that is Ram Bam showing me that video. And I'm just like, why aren't people doing this? Why isn't this more obvious? I feel like we're not sharing that knowledge. We're just like, oh, this is cheap. I'm just gonna block and I'm just gonna complain about it. You know.
What I did with the Jetta block string when people kept getting put into the pinwheel. Like you can just mash buttons when he's canceling at the pinwheel, but people choose to push block, and so.
Yeah, I think for whatever reason, like. People playing Infinite, which is weird because I know lots of people carried over from 3, and we had to learn so hard how to adapt to these like insanely difficult situations, like that were nigh unblockable and literally unreactable. But then they're like, man, I can't deal with a float overhead or a jump rocket skate empty low. Like, I don't really understand how people can't go into the lab and grind that out, because that's not Magneto speed. It's really slow.
We're just not used to it, you know. It's like
the game's still fairly new.
Yeah, it's like Wesker was pretty cheap until he just wasn't. You know,
seriously,
it just happened. Like everybody played Wesker, and then just one tournament, I think one of them got bodied, and then everybody started picking Virgil, right? And then even towards the end of Marvel 3. Virgil was a problem, but we had ways to deal with him. We figured out like, okay, he doesn't have an air dash, so we can just do this nigh unblockable super cheap mix-up, and he has to take it. There's no, he can't do anything about it. I think that's where we're gonna go with this game. Rocket Raccoon seems super cheap right now, but the more we see it, the more we'll learn to deal with it. You know.
I think we're already starting to see him drop off. Like the people playing Rocket right at this point are character specialists. That like half of them were Rocket players in 3. I think it just people saw Sonic Fox doing so well, and then people got this idea that he's super busted, and people weren't trying to lab stuff. But like if you go back to final round, almost everyone in top 8 knew how to deal with traps and neutral and knew what tools they had to do to control that space. And like literally anyone can do that. It's not that they're insanely godlike doing these really difficult things. They're just using the tools, and they know how to like when to use the tools. So I think that's the big issue with Rocket. I think we're already starting to see him fall out, and it's just going to continue to see. So I don't think he's top 2. I think he's good. I don't think he's top 2.
I think the main issue with Rocket Raccoon that a lot of people are not really adapting to is the fact that Rocket can't get in on his own. Like once he's in, he's extremely terrifying because he sets up his own mix-ups. He applies his own pressure. He gets to set up all this ground control so that if you ever try to run away up in the air, you're going to fall on it because you can't see the ground. And a lot of the times, like simply just being full screen against them, people get scared when they see the traps. They freak out, or like they see the Spitfire coming. They expect that they have to jump or something, or the laser comes out. And like what's going on is that a lot of people just being in that like bottom third quadrant, if you're thinking about Cartesian coordinates, shout outs to nerds, that like bottom left corner where the laser doesn't hit and nothing can hit you immediately. All you have, like, you can just low profile the laser with a majority of the cast, and then like, you know, just avoid the laser, and then like Rocket Raccoons are just always set or expected to just do something immediately after. So it's either lay a trap or call Groot or something. If you just throw out like any projectile or any hitbox in that general direction at him to check him, majority of the time, if you just avoid the laser, you're gonna be able to react to it. When I was playing Noel at final round, I was just waiting for the laser, then I would just do a Venom Rush immediately after, because he was going to lay the trap, and then he was going to get blown up for it, or he was going to call Groot, and then Groot was going to get hit, and so would he. It got to the point where he had to teleport up into my face to deal with it. So like it's just a lot of times it's just, you know, you got to keep him in check and just don't get hit by the laser, because the laser allows him to set up from that range.
Okay, so what do you guys think? I mean, obviously we have an idea, right, of what we know is in right now, quote unquote. But like, I feel like things are always changing, and the next like up and coming cheapest character is just gonna pop up at any moment. And I'm kind of leaning towards Bucky a little bit, but I don't know. I'm like curious to see what you guys think.
I don't think Bucky's that good.
No?
No, I don't think he's that good, because even though when he's full screen, he can just, you know, just completely shut you down. Most people have a teleport. Not most people, but a lot of the cast has a teleport or really good mobility. I don't think people are realizing that you can shut down his middle arm either with a teleport or with a low attack. So if you can just, when you're super jumping, what?
Or a tag. You can just tag and hit him with it.
You can tag, like normal tag beats out the super arm, right?
And like if you let tag hit, it beats out Bucky's arm.
See, it's that's another character that I feel like people aren't actually analyzing, you know?
Well, I think he's definitely like another character that kind of gets away with nonsense, because like we have was it final round? Was it Ramna Sama that was just trying to crouch, and then Static Alpha was just hopping back and forth, like getting to do whatever just because he didn't know the matchup. But I don't know, like Eddie Moo, not enough damage. He swears that's strange. When does that match up? I think most people I've talked to that have that play teleport characters seem to think that he's not an issue. So I think there's enough ways to deal with him. And he's just another one that if you don't know how to stop like his stance pressure and deal with his arm, which are just go into the lab and figure out what you have to do to beat it. I think that's where people are going to get blown up by him. But I do think that. Do I think he's better than? I think he's better than Rocket.
You think he's better than Rocket?
I think overall, I think his tools overall are better.
This is given that you don't think that Rocket is in top 2, right?
Yeah, I do. I don't think that Winter Soldier is top 2. I don't think Rocket is either.
What's your top 2 then?
Dante Free. Who's number 2? Come back to me.
Probably
Come
Nova
back to
Zero.
Nova Zero or Firebrand.
Firebrand? You think Firebrand's top 2?
He's not top 2, but he's fucking obnoxious. Excuse me.
No, he's annoying, but he's so
I feel
rare.
like I haven't seen enough. Yeah, I haven't seen enough
Yeah.
Firebrand.
Honestly, I'm probably because of who I have to play and the skill of the player, and we're talking about Zebu. He plays Dante Ultron. I think Ultron is very slept on. Like once you have his empty low game, and know how to use all of his tools, it's very hard to deal with him in neutral. And just everything converts. He doesn't have to worry about happy birthday combos. There's lots of situations where you're having to deal with reverse hitboxes just all over the place.
He's so basic though. He's like
I think he's really basic, but I think he's also incredibly good. I think people aren't doing the fly and fly pressure that you have to do with him, and they aren't using like his super jump stall. And like even you heard Yipes at final round blowing up every Ultron for having a Slowtron. I think that was actually Persia's word. But like having played many sets against it, I cannot react to empty low. It's just
hard.
It's very fast if you do it,
especially because you can kind of see the red lines, you know, the movement lines, but the hitbox doesn't actually come out. Like if he does it close enough to the ground, so you react to the H and then he does the low. You know, because like we were talking earlier, sometimes he's so fast you could just get hit by a shadow normal that you don't even see. It's just there, you know. Like his hitbox is definitely. I agree with you in that one. He is super tricky to block, but you know, it's like another Wesker-like character. Is like he's basic. He's good if the person that's playing him is good, but overall, he's kind of hard to get to that level, you know? You have to actually be kind of godlike.
Well, right, but a tier list isn't about like what character is the easiest. I think that Raccoon is incredibly easy for how strong he is, and that's why he had such a strong showing early on in the game. But like, take it the other direction, everyone thought Hawkeye was going to be one of the worst characters. Reflects in this game, his Ice Arrow got shadow nerfed on the last patch, but like, it's just when you know how to place tools properly on the screen, like, there are certain characters that are just way better than the initial our initial thoughts on them were. And I think that Ultron was kind of the Unga, just get started, you're gonna dash H, make him block forever, then super, and you're gonna go for the Dante overhead. But like, people that are actually learning his tools and his mobility, like his stuff, I like some of his mix up and strings I would put on level with Magneto. Like, they're that fast, they're that oppressive, and it's just really hard to get him out. And then once he's out, it's very easy for him to get back in because he has much stronger advancing buttons than most characters in this game.
Okay. Actually,
here's a really good question from the chat. Joan099, our king, the Panther. So has anyone here watched Filthy Rich play?
Yep.
So he runs
I've heard
Gamora
about
Panther.
him a lot, but I haven't actually caught any of his matches.
I think what's sad is I think that he's not very good at the Marvel engine, but I still think that he managed to make Black Panther work. I think if he learned how to like manage his resources and use his stone better, I think that he would be really good. So I don't know how horrible I think Black Panther is anymore. And the same with Hulk. I've been playing a lot of Hulks recently, and I think in general, just across the board, most people, they instantly counted out certain characters, and especially me with Black Panther. But I think if you put the time in, like, everyone has some dirt.
I think Black Panther was super bad at start because of Reality Stone. When everybody picked Reality Stone and it was that fast, he could not move around the screen at all. But now that Reality Stone is like not that big of a thing, I played this one guy. I know he may be in the chat. He's LOH. And he has the sickest Black Panther. I don't know if it's the sickest. I know I just got hit by some dumb shit.
Was it Black Panther or Thanos' soul?
Because
that name sounds familiar.
So. I don't know if it was Thanos, but it was definitely like Black Panther soul. I don't know. I don't remember the other character. I just know I just got hit, and I was just like, "Whoa! I've never seen this before." Like, I don't know. I didn't know for a second there. I think we played like only like 3 or 4 matches. I did not understand. I think I just won because, I don't know, my invincible stuff. But if I didn't have it, I would just get bodied because I don't know, man. His mobility, he can just like, he was whisk punishing me from full screen. Like, for example, I did like just a straight H just to see if it connects, and then he just whoosh, bam, tag in, I'm dead.
I will say, like, I did earnestly try to learn Black Panther when the game first came out because he was kind of like my execution character, just to mess around with. He's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. The main issue is that he falls under the same category as Chun-Li and Spider-Man, where they're characters that need to get in, characters that you're absolutely terrified of when they actually get to apply pressure. But the problem is that he doesn't have his movement is a lot more transparent than those characters, whereas like Chun-Li and Spider-Man, it's like, oh, you whiffed one thing from full screen, you're dead. Whereas with Black Panther, it's like you have to already be on the wall cling, or you have to be like grounded, sitting there waiting clearly, and the opponent can react to those certain things. So What's important is that you have to rely on a support character that's able to get the lockdown for him so that he can get in, because like nothing's more terrifying than a character that doesn't have an air dash and can still go empty tri dash low. Like it's pretty terrifying. So and then he has a standing overhead that can go into super or tag. He has this homing super that rains down like from the heavens. So it's really good with teleport characters. It's just like he fills this weird niche as a role on the team that you have to rely on either like teleport characters or like support characters that, you know, aren't very good on their own. So like you have to pretty much rely on playing Soulstone in order to keep the team together, because if one character dies, it's basically curtains, unless you just like go absolutely ham and the opponent freaks out and is not able to deal with Black Panther because they're too busy like scared of what he's going to do and they're going to hesitate and lose.
I think we make a lot of jokes about how Spider-Man players have to play Power Stone because that's the only good Spider-Man. But I think so. Filthy Rich is one of the first Black Panther Power Stone players that I've seen, and I think that fills one of his major gaps. Is he's really good at kind of putting himself in really weird positions, but he doesn't. I don't think his mix-up is that strong. I think his standing. I can't say for a fact, but I would wager that his standing overhead is probably not as fast as like Black Widows or Monster Hunters, and I think
they're about the same speed. Well, Monster Hunters is unbelievably fast because the startup is not actually visible.
Yeah. So being able to actually juke with him and like know how to zip back to the wall to create the plus situations where you can like hit front side and then Power Stone backside. And like if people don't know how to push block or how to avoid those situations, I think that he's good. But I do think that he's very limited. And as soon as like there's a set, somebody was asking about Black Panther, so I was like, oh yeah, Filthy Rich. So I went and found this set. It was him versus Knives. And I didn't watch it. I was like, yeah, just watch this. You can get his combos. I don't know who wins, but he just
blew him up.
Right. It's such a bad, like that's probably the worst matchup for Black Panther in the game is an armored character plus a zoner. And so I think that's probably why you can't play just Black Panther. But I think there are definitely matchups where you can play him and succeed very well.
I think the main issue is that a lot of like the meta where it's geared right now is that like basically you have the ground control characters like Rocket Raccoon and Hawkeye, you have the armored characters, and then you have the I guess the anti-zoners, the teleporters and everything. Yeah. So like Strider and Dante and whatnot. And the problem is that Black Panther doesn't do well against the armored characters necessarily. He's got some really good heavy moves, like Predator Arts is fantastic. It's huge. And then he goes into a big overhead afterwards. But like the rest of his normals they're a little stubby. And then like when you're looking at the zoning characters, well, he it's completely transparent because like the wall cling always puts him at full screen. It, you know, puts him in like these not so friendly situations. Like Dormammu just eats that up. He's like, oh, purification tag. And then like with the armor or the teleporters, it's like, well, Black Panther's not the best in the scramble because he doesn't have like a foot dive like move or Killer Bee or something that allows him to just excel in the scramble situation. So that's where the Power Stone comes in. Like basically you're going to have to choose a stone that will help take care of whatever matchups you're going to be most exposed to. So it's kind of like I don't know, I don't think many of you follow this, but Hearthstone is most generally focused in the tournament scene around trying to just eliminate one of those matchups that you're not going to see because you're able to ban multiple decks, and then you just like focus on the problematic matchups that you will see outside of the class that you ban. And Black Panther kind of has to approach that situation where it's like, well, the stone needs to be geared towards the matchup in order to best deal with it.
So in terms of like characters, I feel like all the time I'm just remembering, oh yeah, so-and-so's in this game or whatever. So who do you guys think is the most slept on character right now that people are just like not using, they're not discovering?
Chun-Li.
Oh, everyone went at the same
Black
time.
Widow.
Hold up. I'll send it around the table. Let's start with, well, we heard yours the most, Kyle, so what's up? Black Widow? Why is that?
She's super hard. She's an effort character, but I think that she has some of the best mix-up tools in the game. And I think once there's a method of playing where you can go for these like long extended combos, and then there's this one that's like really reset heavy Marvel 2 style. And I think that once people learn how to set up like a command grab plus high-low situation consistently on these little short cycles, I think she's going to be really scary. But she's probably is because she is so hard and it is very unclear like what her strengths are when you first touch her. I think most people just kind of overlooked her.
Okay, what about you, Jonas?
I think Frank West is actually kind of sick. That's just me.
He was in this game. So yeah, I feel it all the time. There's so many characters I feel that way.
I don't think people really gave him a chance. I think
I can agree with that.
His chainsaw is actually pretty good. His Luigi move with tag. The tripod is pretty sick. The camera is people can play camera tag. You can do that, you know? I barely see any Frank West ever, even online. I don't know why. I swore when I first saw him that way more people are gonna use him. So I think Frank West is the most slept on. I think people just did not even bother to think about what he does. And also I think Hulk is actually kind of good. I think Hulk has that sort of Sigma vibe. Gamma Charge is very underrated. I've definitely gotten hit by Gamma Charge a lot. And it's not as bad as people say. I used to think Hulk was the worst character in the game. Now I think he's solid mid-tier, you know, like he's just there.
I'll agree with that. I was urging people, like new players, like I really want to play Hulk, and it's like you can play whoever you want, but I would not do that. But I've played a couple of sets against really good Hulks lately, and yeah, he's so different from Marvel 3 Hulk, and I think that's why we all got kind of confused early on. But he is probably the most mobile, one of the most mobile characters in the game. And he's definitely the most mobile heavy. So you have your armor and command grabs and stuff. But he kind of just gets to go wherever he wants on the screen to kind of force his situation. So I think he's pretty good.
He's definitely like very gimmicky though, but his gimmicks are pretty nice. I'm playing against Hulk Strider, local guy, and there's just some things like he's level 3. Did you guys know that he's the only level 3 in the game that doesn't have a cinematic, right? So
no, there's 3.
Oh, there's more.
There's 4. Zero, Arthur, Chris, and Hulk.
Zero. Okay, then I'm sorry, but you do Gamma Charge, and then you just pick whatever teleport character you can find, and then you just boom, boom. It's 3 hits. You have 3 free mix-ups. And that's just impossible. At least for me, if you're playing against like a super fast character, like let's say Strange or Mamu or Strider not that much. You can kind of react, but it's still like, nah, dude. This is tough. This is tough. I think Hulk.
And you get a full combo afterwards too.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just never mind about Frank West. I think Hulk is the most slept on character.
I'll say on Frank West, I think he was good in the last one because Shopping Cart was always available, and that was really good for almost anyone that you wanted to put him with. But he's like when you have to rely on level 1 Frank to level up Frank.
Oh yeah, no.
I think that just kind of puts him in such a bad position.
But
now.
Hey, let's be honest here. Do you guys think? I'm sorry if I'm derailing the topic. Is there any one character that is not viable?
I would say the least viable character is Mega Man, but I think that he is still viable.
If he's still viable, that's
good. Chris.
You think Chris?
No, I think he's much better in the post-balance patch because he still has magic bullets. He was awful when he didn't have magic bullets, but I think that he is as good as he was in 3.
I think he even has high lows with the short hop.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good short hop game, and I think that fire is a lot stronger than it was previously, and actually being able to shoot through stuff is a lot better. Because I have a hard time like actually like characters, I probably wouldn't pick Morgan. I think that she's really basic. I know that Chris G is doing a lot of work with her, but I think it's just kind of his play style and his enjoyment of the character, and the fact that DP. I see all of his stuff that he's doing, and I think that her tech's really good. But I think that her neutral in general she's Jetta plus as far as speed, but as far as neutral setup, I think that she's one of the weaker characters in the game.
Well, I think in terms of team composition, there's a lot of situations where, like, I think what it's gearing towards is basically what you're trying to do is, let's say you have point and support, like they're 2 bars, and you want to try to fill them up to as close to 100% each as much as possible. And Morgan is like more like a 90% support, 90% point, 10% support, whereas Jett is more like he's more like a 60-40 or 70-30 in terms of point to support. And Jetta like is able to provide lockdown and things that are necessary in order to set up the other character, but for the most part he excels the best at being on point whenever the other character is set up for him, which is why Sonic Fox saw so much success. He was able to set up Rocket Raccoon with Jetta. Rocket Raccoon was able to set up him to keep him in, and then Jetta was scary. With Morgan, it's more so you have to have an assist character that really can set things up, and Monster Hunter does that very well with Chris G. Sigma does that very well with Ketsui, and it's just mostly you get the lockdown with the character. Morgan is able to set up certain things off of hits, be it finishing shower or the harmonious spear, dark spear, whatever it's called. And so like Chris G's then able to turn Monster Hunter into a point character with the install super, and then he's able to play his game like that. I think Morgan, like what people are trying to, or what they need to do is try to follow that formula and basically find whatever character most complements it. So that's why we see a lot of Dante Ultron, is because Dante's like, I think he's starting to, become more of a support than a point character. He's like almost like 45-55. Whereas Ultron is like a 60-40 or 55-45. And so they're very complementary of each other, where since they're both basically hybrid characters, they're able to fill each other's roles and set each other up. Whereas, you're not as reliant on Soulstone in that case. And I think with Morgan, that's just one of the things where she's a point character at heart, so you need a support character to help her.
I'm trying to think if there's actually a character that I would honestly tell somebody not to play. I think Black Panther, because of certain matchups, is probably the only character that I would say.
I would almost say that Black Panther's okay, just because like the support characters that you want to pair him with are extremely easy to play. It's like, oh, you want to pair him with Sigma, you want to pair him with Hulk, you want to pair like someone that could just like get in and provide the lockdown. Venom, like basically you don't have to learn anyone that's difficult. Like Black Panther Strange would be like the most ludicrous team that you would have to learn, or Black Panther Winter Soldier, like a Bane Hollow-esque team where it's like both characters require high execution. I wouldn't recommend that if you're trying to get into the game. But like for the most part, Black Panther players should be sticking with the easier characters to compensate for the difficult skill curve with Black Panther.
I'm saying Rhea's pretty bad. We can't forget about that guy.
I don't think that's even true. I think he's super ordinary man, but I don't think he's bad. Like he's got an overhead and that you can throw out in lockdown. He has decent punish options. If you're trying to run a character that likes the slow projectile, you've got that, or you've got a beam option. Like I think they actually gave him some decent tools. And I ran across some people recently, I don't even remember, just random online matches, that like some of his combo paths actually like are pretty solid, do real damage, and kind of carry to the corner and then set up a decent mix-up situation.
I think he does some real ass damage. Like if you get that rare good hit, he does some good stuff. Like I've definitely seen it. I don't know, the reels that I've played usually use Power Stone, right? I don't know which other stone I would recommend for him, but he's definitely like, Ryu is pretty good. I think he's good. I would say good. He's pretty decent.
Fortress has actually done a lot of work over on the West Coast. He almost made top 8 at NorCal Regionals, and he almost got, and I think he did get top 8 at SenCal Standoff. It almost seems like it's a joke team because he ends up inevitably switching to Dante Monster Hunter Soul when he's facing like much stronger opponents. But he does manage to do a lot of work with Ryu Dante Timestone, and although it's very gimmicky with like the mix-ups he does with Timestone, like Ryu is still one of the only characters in the game that has an invincible meterless dragon punch, and like the fact that Dante can convert off of it for free is extremely like satisfying. So like that's something that you have to consider at the beginning of the game. He has strong defensive options, and he, you know, the overhead, as vanilla as it is still pretty scary, like against a promising Ryu player. And Tatsu needs to be respected at certain instances, even though like in the neutral it's really easy to blow up. There's just a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration. Like you still have to respect Ryu with some tools that he has.
Like I wouldn't say any one character is bad or not viable. I would definitely say like the amount of work that you have to do to actually make them like an actual threat in tournament. I think that's what really like separates the men from the boys, you know, like that's what separates a Black Panther from a Strider. They both kind of do the same thing, but why would you ever pick Strider? I mean, why would you ever pick Black Panther over Strider, you know?
Well, Strider actually doesn't have really weird. Lows.
Excuse me?
I said Strider actually doesn't have good high lows because against shorter characters, the short hop heavy punch is actually like whiffs really hard. I think Clockwork's the only person that is able to get it like kind of low, and you could tell he's like double tapping the down to like get it lower to the ground, but it's still very transparent.
It plays on hitbox, right?
Yeah. But like it like Static like swears up and down that that Strider sucks in this game, like mid tier at best, because he has no mix up potential. Like if he wall clings to the corner and you're standing in the corner, it's always going to hit in front. Manic tried to post this like mix up potential thing where he can Excalibur both ways, but it still always hits in front. Just hold like block towards the corner. Like the only way he can get you to cross up is if he comes down with a normal that pushes you out of the corner first, and then he's behind you. Like that's literally the only way Strider can cross you out.
Would a Strider be like? I think he's already. Wouldn't it be cheap, like straight up top 2, if he could actually do what you're mentioning right now? Because
free.
Excalibur, isn't that like even? It's either like -1 or like 0, right? At any range.
It's plus actually, because I've tried to jab it with Spidey, like which is 4 frame, and Strider's 5 frame jab is beating it out. I can't throw him, which is 3 frames. That's 2 frames faster. It's like you have to like chicken block it at like this really specific instance, or like get this like perfect push block, and even then it's just like it's a headache. Like the main thing is
to react to too.
Yeah, like Strider has all these great neutral tools and everything, and like when he has you mid screen, he has the left rights that could terrify you. But like if you're not a big character like Dormammu, you don't have to worry about the high lows, so it's really hard to mix someone up with Strider, and he doesn't get anything off his throws. Ouroboros is like extremely transparent. It's actually really easy to block half the time. And there's actually a lot more holes in it than people realize. Like the satellites aren't that great. It's and you can't even really convert off of it. A lot of the times the opponent falls out of the combo, so you have to like keep them grounded. And you know, it's Strider's actually a really big headache in this game.
You think? But would you put him top 10?
I have him like sort of like 8th or 9th, but I'm willing to push him out to like top 12.
Damn. Okay, so I think it's really different from everybody else, because I think he's top 5. Like
I originally had him top 5, and then I realized that he can't do high lows to save his life on characters like Hawkeye or Spider-Man or Rocket. Like,
I mean, yeah,
but he eats up. But
think about it. If you have Strider to get the hit, and then you just have like any other character that does like big ass grown man damage, especially when you think about, you know, he's the point, so he's usually gonna be either with Monster Hunter, with Venom, maybe with Sigma, you know. So all of those characters you can usually do a teleport mix-up, right? So when you do a teleport mix-up, that's just, you know, you're human, you're just gonna get hit. You have Graham. Graham goes full screen. You know, I think one bar Ouroboros, that's free lockdown. I would put him mid tier. Maybe I'm exaggerating putting him top 5, but he's definitely like, I think he's there. You know, what do you guys think?
I think the tiers in this game are super condensed, like insanely condensed. I don't think it's really easy just to say, like, these characters are the clear top 5. If you're not playing these, you're messing up. I think that
it's not as defined as it used to be.
I'll say Dante is still a top 1, but I think he's still a character specialist utility character. I don't think he's like the free everyone plays him. And I think there's a lot of characters that are in that whatever the next band is. I don't think there are very many characters anymore that are just like, this is absolutely a top tier character. So I think the last balance patch actually kind of put most of the cast into a really, really good spot.
Agree.
That balance patch is the best balance patch Capcom has done in years.
Probably since like Ultra Street Fighter 4 or something, like when they toned down Evil Ryu.
Even then, like they buffed Yun back then. You know, like we can't let that
you're
slide.
You're right.
But that Marvel patch is just I'm happy. Like if like push comes to shove, there's no more updates. I'm hella happy with the game right now.
Yeah, and there's still so much to discover with this game. It's insane. Like we're seeing Hulk players come out of nowhere, like, and everybody was writing him off as bottom 4. Like Spooker or Spookopolis.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't
Spooker,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, well, Spooker like blowing people up with gamma charge because it's like, you know, straight divide on crack. Doesn't have as much lockdown, but like, don't commit to anything at this one specific instance or you will die. And like, even like when it's solo Hulk versus 2 characters, you can't commit to anything because if you try to tag to make it safe, chances Hulk is just going to blow up both characters and kill them both because his level 3 is sick.
All right, you guys, we've been talking about this discussion for quite some time now. Went a little bit over, but that's okay. Honestly, we could probably talk about this for many more hours than this. But we do need to go ahead and start wrapping up. I'm going to kick around the outros, but in your outro, you can also give your final claims about the discussion, too, if you want, so we can put both together. So, first of all, everyone watching, thank you for tuning in and sticking with us this long. It's been an interesting night. But yeah, outros, Airborne, what's up? Final words / final meta things.
Shout outs to Net Battles, One Frame Link, you all, just everybody that's still playing this game. It was really cool to see, even though like at a major we only had 44 entrants at NCR. I think a bunch of those were still pulled away from Anime Ascension, or pulled away to Anime Ascension for Dragon Ball and Bum's Birthday Bash. So like we were a lot divided, and like, you know, there were still a lot of people that didn't travel this weekend. Mostly because of Easter and stuff like that. I'll say the meta is, it's kind of like someone's like taking some C4 to it or something, because it's definitely like at this really weird instance where it's like the only people that really matter are Kevin and Chris G in terms of the players. And then there's like this like huge just encyclopedia of just players or killers that just all sit below them. And if they like change their perspective, change their game plan, change their resource management and everything, like work on the defense, like there's so many people that could just easily challenge those two. And like even like Macho's been taking Kevin to last game like every single set they've played ever. And it's just like there's so many things about this game that just like left to exploit, left to explore.
It's still new.
And like everyone's just, you know, still trying to hinge on, oh, Rocket Raccoon's too cheap, I'm gonna quit the game or pick up Sigma, or, you know, all these different things. But like the main thing is, one, no character is really that dominant, like, because 2, in order to thrive in tournament, you need at least 2 teams, and it's gonna get to that point. Like we said it in Marvel 3, but it's way more of a case in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Jonas, final signing off words.
Just to elaborate on what Benj said, yeah, I love this game. I know I will be playing it for years to come. I think it's the only fighting game right now that you can actually express yourself as a player. Like no two people play the same, and I think that holds a lot of value. I know there's a lot of discussion about esports and patches and stuff like that going around lately. The game right now is really balanced, as we've been talking about. Top tiers are top tier, but there's always an answer to mostly everything. I know maybe the next cheap thing is right around the corner, but right now, in the current state of the game, even though we're in this like development hell, I am having the time of my life with this game. I think it is definitely like, man, every time I play, I learn something new, and that is a lot. That takes like, that holds a lot of value. I don't know. I see a lot of toxic stuff on the chat. You guys, give it a chance. I don't know. Maybe you'll like it. And as a outro, I'm going to Combo Breaker, guys. So I hope to see you guys there.
Lit.
Yes.
Cool. Kyle, final words.
I guess shout out to everyone that actually came and live in the chat, hanging out here, and everyone that's been repping Marvel on Twitter lately. I feel like there's been still kind of the normal troll crap, so it's nice that we're starting to see more people coming out with new tech videos and new combos, and people are clearly back in the lab and actually playing again. So I'm glad that the kind of newness on Dragon Ball Z has kind of faded off, because I can definitely understand if you're a fan of the IP, like why you'd be playing it, but I'm always going to be glad to see people playing more Marvel. But I guess closing thoughts on the meta, I completely agree. I think that this balance patch was hugely successful. I think there's a lot of creativity and freedom and team selection that we're finally getting to see come forward. Because, I mean, jump back a few months and everyone had a Dante, and we're seeing 1 or 2 Dantes now in top 8, and we're getting to see like a really wide mix. So definitely, I guarantee you're not watching this podcast if you aren't already playing the game. But if you're not playing the game, like, it is so much different from month 1. It's grown a lot. All the player base has grown a lot. I think it's a great game, and I hope that it sticks around. And maybe what is it, on the 10th? That's when we're totally getting Rashid in the game. Is that right? So
yeah.
So who knows? Tinfoil all the way. But even if this is the game we have to play for the next 7 years, I think I'm okay with that. I think it's a really balanced game, and I absolutely love the engine and like where the game is going. I think it's only going to get better.
And Ram Bam, what up? Final words, signing off.
Shout out to all of you guys for watching, and if you guys are in the Boston area, come find me. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm always down to play games in Massachusetts. And check my Twitter out because I'm going to be posting some tech later tonight probably. And just keep playing.
Yeah. Exactly. Why not? And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, sticking with us. Our next show, as you know, we're here every first and third Tuesday. So next show is going to be on the 17th. That's going to be right before Clutch, which we talked a little bit about earlier. So, eyes and ears open for Clutch and any updates coming your way from there. My signing off word, just keep playing the game and keep supporting the game. You guys were just talking about it in the chat. NCR had 11,000 views. Not bad. That's pretty amazing. We're doing our thing, and this is no shade to Dragon Ball, but it happens with every new game. It's popular at first, and then it doesn't stay that way. And like, no game has stayed that way. And like, even goes the same for when Street Fighter V first came out, so on and so forth. So now we're starting to get our players back a little bit. I like it. We'll see more. Just keep playing the game, keep supporting the game, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys next time. All right. Peace out and good night, and Hyper Sentinel Force.
Hyper Sentinel Force.
Yeah, exactly.